My name is Antoinette Vermoeten. I'm the CEO and one of the founder members of Bayede Marketing. The word Bayede means Hail the King. That is the salute that's reserved for the Zulu king alone. And they will greet the king and say, Bayede, wena ndlovu. Bayede, hail the king. His Majesty King Zwelithini, the king of the Zulus, was invited to visit Eikendal, and I met the king there for the first time. And during the course of the weekend, the king approached me and said to me, help me to create jobs. And I joined forces with the king, and I thought, if I have the support of the king, we can move mountains. And we started with wines, because I thought, how can we start a company with no funds? And being on a wine farm, I thought, let's start the first rural wine range for the continent. And after the wine, I realized that a brand is very important. The content is secondary, and that people buy for the story and for what it stands. And obviously they want good quality as well. The king is very actively involved to promote. Wherever the king goes, he will talk about Bayede. He will talk about the wine, he will talk about the projects, and he will promote it, because this is really something that he's proud of, and it's something for the nation, and something that's a truly South African brand, and that is helping to put food on people's tables. Bayede is a royal brand. I've developed the first royal signature and by appointment to trademark for the African continent in an effort to create jobs. Because Bayede does not have capital to buy farms or start production facilities, we've signed and identified reputable suppliers that also conforms to BEE principles and that want to empower people in our country. For the wines, we've joined forces with Van Looferen Wine. They will do the production of the King, the Queen and the Prince range. And the 7 icons, we've got the top 7 wine farms in South Africa, which is Antonie Rupert, Vergelegen, Tokara, De Grendel, Dani de Wet, Beyersdieter and Kleine Zaltse. So we identify people that we want to do business with, and that's got the sufficient supply of quality wines. In the tea, for instance, we partnered with Carmen Tea. They supply the tea, and Bayede will do the design of the packaging, the layout, and add value through the beadwork again against the foil pouch that's on there. The clothing, we've identified Bazo. He was only an individual that I came across by coincidence, and I saw his talent, and I thought, let me develop this talent, and we developed the shirt range for Bayede. I approached the presidential group, Rob Sim, the CEO, and I asked him to join forces with Bayede to roll out this unique shirt range for the African continent and ignite the industry specifically for the textiles. The bed linen, I always have the passion for beautiful bed linen, and I know that the manufacturing, specifically the textile and home textiles, was in a very difficult situation because of the imports from China specifically. And I said we can compete still with the Chinese if we identify a unique design, something that is different, that is niche. And I identified Jimmy Fernandinos, who's got Linen Drawer, to do a production for us for bed linen, and also a table linen range that will be African, that's raw, that's different, and that is really catching for the consumers. The beading group is also, I think that is my biggest drive, is to put food on the table of the beaders. We've got 6 different groups, and when we started the company, it was always the vision of His Majesty the King that we do not discriminate against white, black, Xhosa, Zulus. This is a company for South Africa. We have beading groups in Paarl. We've got a disabled group as well here. We've got beading groups in KwaZulu-Natal, in Gauteng, and then also in Mpumalanga. So it's my responsibility to make sure that the wine sells and that we can get the volume so that we can feed the people. I've appointed Nicola Smith, and Eunice was, for instance, a lady that came to me and said she wants to do beadwork. And through our whole strategy in the company, is I always say there's 5 fingers on your hand. Everybody can benefit. I said to Eunice, we will help you. You need to bring 5 ladies. There's enough for everybody. So it's very much not in that self-enrichment, but to have a project that is sustainable. And Eunice, for instance, and Sophie, the other one, they are now coordinating the other ladies. Nicola will make sure that we buy the beads, we deliver it to the different beading groups. The beading coordinators will make sure that the individuals that's involved in the group get the beads. So it's also teaching business principles to them through whatever we do. A lot of the ladies is unskilled, cannot read, cannot write, got no source of income, take care of their children and grandchildren. And one must realize that you need to adapt to their way of thinking.
I'm Nicola Smit. I'm the Bayede project coordinator for the beading groups. We have 2 beading groups situated, one in Paarl and one in Tilbach. And these ladies represent the groups. If we get an order from Bayede, we make a bead, a single bead like this, that we put on the wine bottles. This is Sophie, and she's our Tilbach project manager. And this is the ladies that's working with Sophie. Sophie, maybe you can tell us what this means to you.
Paula, weet jy, die krale projek wat ons vir jou doen, dit beteken vir ons baie van die vroue is heeltemal afhanklik van die krale, byvoorbeeld van hulle werk nie, of van hulle byvoorbeeld 'n babietjie wat te klein is, so dit is moeilik om byvoorbeeld te werk, so dan is dit eintlik lekker. Hulle kom in, ek leer vir hulle die tipe 'n beadwerk wat ons gaan doen, en jy kan jou voorraad vat en jy kan by jou huis gaan werk. So, dit is regtig, dit is wonderlik die werk wat jy nie doen deur die krale.
Eunice, can you maybe tell us how you keep the ladies' spirit high when they do a project with 35,000 beads they have to deliver in 3 weeks' time?
So every morning, Nicola, when we start the project, we start by first of all to invite God to be our leader, because we know without Him we don't have a strength. So that is how we keep us going. And we start by sharing how we're going to do it. And most of the time we are together at Lucanio, where we share the beads and make it.
Research is very important. You're going to put such a lot of effort into your business. If you don't know about your commodity, if I can take wine as an example, who's your competitors? Where's the market that you want to go to? What is the unique selling points? It's important to know you have to have that before you start a project or before you start marketing a product that you have developed. Research is cardinal, it's important, otherwise you don't know who's your competitors, you don't know who's in the market, and you don't know why your product is unique and different. I realized that there is no royal signature brand in South Africa. With the King's endorsement and his support, I realized that the unique selling point for African products is our culture. We are African and we must portray in our products the uniqueness of our culture and our country and our offering. I went to retailers, I went to individuals, I did market research, and it is the most difficult commodity because there's no barrier to entry to market. And I just thought I'm going to use the brand instead of the old way of the South African wine industry to use the contents. So I used the brand as my entry into the market and the story, the authentic, raw, unique story that our brand has. I realized very quickly that people is interested. They're interested in the culture, they're interested in the Zulu nation, they're interested in the royalty and the king. I realized that the people love the story, and that motivated me. And I said, but we're more than wine. We are a royal brand and we can develop different products under this brand. Financial challenges, I think, is the biggest hardship for any small enterprise. It was very hard to manage the company and grow the company without finances. And through joint venture partnerships and through, I think, very wise strategic relationships, agreements with suppliers and payment terms, one can manage to develop a company without not a lot of cash or not a lot of financial input. We used our startup capital, I used that for our trademark registration. which was quite a substantial amount. And start small, dream big, but don't give up. I think through clever thinking, clever structuring of your business and your agreements, one can manage your cash flow. I think to grow a business, you need investment. You need investors. And that is why this company is in different sectors. I've divided the company to allow new shareholders into the company, to allow new joint venture partnerships to help us grow. I think if you open up your business and you seek reputable joint venture partnerships that will also take the risk and not only have a capital investor that you have to pay back, but I think if there's that shared responsibility to make it work, it helps, especially in skills and in mentorship. You can always learn from the bigger role players that can empower you. It is very hard work. It is really not giving up, and it's really believing in what you're doing. And if you do things for the right reason, not for self-enrichment, but really to give back, your energy is not stopping. The learning curve is that in the wine industry, it's a difficult industry to break through. I think there's a lot of challenges for Black economic empowerment companies still in the wine industry. And it's difficult because you dream big to get access to the big role players in South Africa. I think the big corporates must support initiatives of small enterprises, because that's the only way that there will be really economic growth in this country. I think the most important thing that I've done was to get someone that knows about finances. The biggest challenge for an entrepreneur and for me was, you don't have money, how do you employ someone? How do you pay for someone's time? The important thing is to have systems in place, financial systems. You must know where your money is going, you must know your responsibilities, and you must have weekly sales reports, you must have monthly statements, you must have income statements, and you must have a proper budget. So I think it's very important first to have a business plan. Where do you want to go? What is your business model? What do you want to achieve? And what is your vision? And then also I think revisit that, because of the changes you have to adapt your business plan to reach your goals and to make sure that you know where you're going. You know the financial side is very important, and then also I think it's very important to execute sufficiently and speedily. Marketing is the most important thing when you want to sell commodities. I think it's also the most expensive thing to have and to budget for in your business. You have to have the pull-through of your products. Direct marketing is very important. You must tell the story, it's legwork. Things don't sell if you don't make it happen. There is a lot of funds available from the Department of Trade and Industry for international marketing, trade shows. Apply for the trade shows, make sure all your business model, tax clearance, your business plan is in order, apply for that. There is one challenge, because the majority of the funds is allocated for a platform. Marketing is a challenge if you don't have the money, but you must then get in your car and start walking and selling and telling the story, and don't give up. We use also social media. We have a Facebook, Bayede 7 Icon Facebook. We get a lot of interest from the media to showcase Bayede. We approach corporates, for instance, for wine tasting events, as where we can use that platform. In local shows, in-store promotions is also very important, if I can maybe just focus on the wine. But I think that is the most challenging thing, and it's also the one thing that if you don't have proper marketing plan and you don't do the marketing, you will get nowhere. And not to give up. Maybe the one door closed, the other one will open. I went on a business course to Wisconsin Business School in Chicago, and I thought I want to do business with Walmart. And I got into the plane and I met the decision makers, the company president of the group and the big executives. And you need to sell your story. You need to tell the people what you do, and you must make sure that you use the platforms. The platforms is there. You have to go the extra mile, and you must make it happen. Walmart, I think, was our biggest breakthrough. We managed to get a supply agreement with Walmart, and we rolled out in 400 stores in China, which was also, I think, the biggest and most difficult market for the wine industry, but the brand spoke for itself. Customer service is crucial. It's very important to have a relationship. Being a successful business is building good relationships with your customers. You must have integrity, you must deliver in time, you must follow up and find out what is the feedback, and if there's challenges, it's a relationship with your customers. They must feel good for using your products. You must have the come back, they want it again. And what is unique about Bayede, we offer the customer a do-good experience. By buying our products, they're doing good. They're helping with job creation, they're plowing back into the community. When we got the first Walmart order, it was 35,340 bottles. So within 2 weeks, we managed to supply 35,420 beets for the beating wines. It's important to get people in to help you. You cannot do everything alone. I think that is also part of our whole strategy in the business. I always say we're an open hand. We need to give opportunities to people to manage certain projects and also to empower people through that. Expansion is important and growth is important. I think for all the effort, it's your measurement in your success and the growth and success of the business going forward. One needs to plan your growth. We, for instance, with Walmart had a substantial growth of 445% within 4 years. But make sure that you have the supply. Make sure that you've got the agreements in place. Make sure that you have all your chains in place so that you will be able to deliver. They always say if you grow too fast, you fall. I don't believe in that. I believe that you can grow fast, but you must make sure that you can supply. And then through agreements, back-to-back agreements, for instance, you can meet the demand of the customers. I believe that without staff and proper support, you cannot grow your business. Small enterprises have the challenge because you do not have the cash flow to employ people and to pay monthly salaries to them. Rather take in from your salary and employ someone that will bring benefit to your business, like a financial person who can help you to put systems in place to manage your business and expenses. We have 7 full-time workers in Bayede and we've got 35 part-time workers, that is the beading group. So you can outsource services. You do not have to own a wine farm and pay the workers. You can, through strategic wise thinking, get supplies, help the wine farms also to push their volumes and to make sure that they also benefit. I think the important thing is a win-win. Get people on contract, get people eventually on full-time, and there's a huge opportunity for interns, for instance. In our company, we had 4 interns, young people that did not have opportunities that we accommodated and pay a very small stipend, and all of them got full-time jobs after 6 months. So there is that opportunity of the youth that one can help and one can give them the exposure in business without paying a huge salary to them. They've got the skills, they can learn, they're young, they've got the latest technology and knowledge, and use that opportunity to also empower them, but also you get that benefit from that intellectual knowledge that you can use. Competitive advantage is the most important differentiation. Your products from the next, your wine from the next wine. You have to create a competitive advantage. Through Bayede, we've created the first royal signature and by appointment 2 trademark, signed by a king, with beadwork around the neck, And it tells a story of 200 years of history, of the tradition of our country, but also showcase the quality of our wines. In all our products, we like to be different. The teas, for instance, there is a lot of teas available in South Africa, but we've developed the first royal signature tea, a royal tea for a royal moment. The packaging is different. The whole line of our brand architecture is to involve the beading, to have beadwork there that help people that put food on their tables. Our 4 pouches will have beadwork around the neck. Our wine bottles got beadwork around the neck. So that is also promoting arts and crafts in our country. The economic climate is always challenging, but one needs to focus to differentiate yourself. If I can take the Bayede textiles as an example, textile industry is battling in South Africa. But what did we do? We created a niche, something different, something that do have a demand. The Bayede Royal Love Letter bed linen range, for instance. I believe that there is always an opportunity, even if it is a difficult financial climate, it will and must stimulate you to think different. Globally, for instance, when I said I want to go to China and sell wines there, I think the majority of the people thought I was crazy because the Chinese doesn't drink wine, we don't speak the language. But I think your product, even in difficult times, will differentiate you and will make it possible to market it and to get access to market. Bayede's vision is to be the #1 internationally African brand in 10 years. We want to develop the different parts of our company. I want to develop a food line. I want to partner with the big role players in the food industry to bring out a brand that the majority of South Africans and Africa can associate with. I want to ignite the textile industry, to create niche markets, and to encourage and also to request big companies to support initiatives like this. We want to make sure that people knows about Bayede. Very important for me is to make sure that we create jobs, that we create substantial jobs. I don't want to put a figure, it's always difficult, but if we can create 5,000 jobs in 10 years' time through downstream job creation by marketing this brand and igniting various industries that creates jobs and have a platform for them, a brand that talks and a brand that people want to be associated with and makes a difference in our country, I will rest my case. As a company, we want to focus on job creation. One can make a difference. You do not have to have money to have a factory, to have farms, to have production capacity, but through small things, one can make a difference and create jobs. To the young entrepreneurs, I want to say anyone can become an entrepreneur. You're not born an entrepreneur, but never give up. Follow your dream and never give up.